Now, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome to our today's discussion where we are going to discuss why the Deputy President, William Samuel Ruto, may not accept defeat. Today, I prepared a very critical or a serious analysis on why I think the Deputy President, William Samuel Ruto, may not accept the 2022 election results. And before I go into the nitty gritty part of the discussion, allow me to thank my viewers who have been following on our discussion for quite a long time. Much as we had some technical issues and we were not able uh, to record some more videos, we are back, and I want to promise you this will continue even after election. The good part of it is that I want to confirm to you today that this election may not start or end on 9th of August. This election carries a bigger weight, and to your surprise, it may go beyond August. I have reasons as to why this will happen, but a quick reminder is that if you are watching our video for the first time, please give our uh, YouTube channel a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that anytime we are airing such video, you are able to get information on time. Now, let me go straight away to our point of discussion, and I want to talk about why Ruto will not accept the 2022 general election results. Number one, when you look at the deputy president in his meeting in Kapsabet some 2 days ago, and if you are able to read his body language, you could see a person who is frustrated. You could see someone who carries a lot of bitterness. The words directed, in fact, that one takes me to my second reason. Number one, I've talked about his body language. When he was in Kapsabet and he was talking to his people, he talked with a lot of frustration. He was a man under a lot of frustration, and he talked with a lot of bitterness to his people, telling them that he feels he has been undermined and the president is not respecting him, and the president has gone ahead to interfere in his personal life and his family life. In fact, at one point he pointed out that the president should leave alone his children. For those who are following his statement keenly, you realize that the statement were out of bitterness and he could not hold anything. Number two, when you look at the tone and the words he used, you realize again the deputy president did not keep anything off. In fact, in simple language, he had put everything aside, ready for a fight. And for the words that he used when talking about the president, it was it was a clear indication that this now is things fall apart. Nothing has been left to chance. The words were very strong. The message was very clear. The bitterness was openly seen, and it was enough to charge or to incite a crowd to take action about anybody who is against him. Psychologically, scientists have proven, research has shown that if you realize somebody before an occasion is very bitter and is trying to show like he's a victim of the all activity, it's a clear indication that this person mentally he has already conceded defeat. I mean, this is a person who has already conceived defeat, and he's talking out of bitterness. And this is the first stage of acceptance, where the person will deny and will be very bitter with the situation. You remember some years back, Raila has gone through the same processes. Many a time when he's defeated, he becomes very bitter, speak with a lot of bitterness, use very harsh words towards the government of the day and the people in government. In fact, it is exactly what the deputy president is going through. Number three, when you look at the president's meeting in Nakuru when he was opening the old railway station, the meter gauge rail station, the president addressed the masses of the people in Nakuru, and talking to these people, the president pointed out a number of things that he wished that the people of Nakuru would be able to listen to and support his candidate, that is Raila Amolo Odinga and Azimio. However, again, when you look at the president, you realize that the president was not a bitter man. He was very preserved in his statement. He was very keen on the words that he used and picked the words wisely. And in one of the words, he said, Deputy President is not a bad person, but it is not yet time to elect such a kind of leader to take control of our state. And therefore, his words to the people of Nakuru, if you were very keen, the president used a language that was depicting a leader, a person who is leading a group of people. And in the words that he spoke, the people were heard lauding the president and cheering the president for what he was requesting them to do. And there was no doubt that the crowd that had been invited there, all of them were behind the president, and they were exactly going to do what the president wanted them to do for him. Number 4, the latest opinion poll released by TIFA, if you are very keen on it, you realize they gave Raila Amolo Odinga 46% and the deputy president 42%. In one of my videos that I recorded some time back, I talked about this opinion poll, and I said the opinion poll and the pollsters plays a very major role in defining the shape and defining who becomes the leader of our country. Now, one thing you must have noted in the past few days, Raila Amolo Odinga has been improving in the opinion poll, or has been rising. His ratings or his percentage in the opinion poll has been rising steadily. And therefore, as at now, there's no doubt that Raila will win the election. However, the fact here is that would Raila win with the required percentage to become or to be declared the President of the Republic of Kenya? The answer is no. Going back to one of my videos that I did some time back, if you can remember very well, I did pointed out that Raila will not win the election. However, Ruto will lose. Those are my words in one of my videos. I said Raila will not win, Ruto will lose. And why did I say this? The Constitution of Kenya requires somebody who would be declared the president to have 50+1% of the total vote cast. However, if you look at the two key contenders, none of them has been able to reach 50+1. And therefore, as things stand, it is obvious that we are going to have a repetition of the election, if not otherwise. And in any case, if one of the candidates appears to garner above the highest or the threshold that is required, that is 50+1, then there are very many questions that are going to be put forward to resolve the whole issue. Now, it may not be easy for Raila Amolo Odinga to win this election, despite the fact he has received the support of the president, and at the same time, his running mate comes from Mount Kenya. Considering the fact that if you look at the previous election, Raila Amolo Odinga has been able to garner a certain percentage of vote for quite some time. Starting with 2017, in the 2017 election, Raila Amolo Odinga had 44% of the total vote cast. In 2013, Raila Amolo Odinga also garnered 44% of total vote cast. In 2007, Raila Amolo Odinga is also believed to have garnered 44% of the total vote cast. And therefore, if history would repeat itself, chances are, as it stands today, Raila Amolo Odinga has 44% of the total vote cast, and he's looking for about 7.5% to be declared the President of the Republic of Kenya. And where is Raila going to get this 7.5%? As things stands today, it may be very difficult owing to the friction that Raila has had with the Electoral Commission, the Independent Electoral Commission of Kenya. A few days ago, the Electoral Commission of Kenya had an issue, and when they were looking at this issue, they claimed that the government, through the police, were interfering with the smooth running of the election. One of the things that was came out during that time was that there were few individuals who came from Venezuela and they were in the country. These people who are believed not to have been invited or not to have traveled to Kenya with an invitation of IBC were in possession of IBC material. As investigation went on, it came to be unearthed or to be revealed that the IBC material these guys were carrying was not necessarily to be handed or were not IBC. They were not to be handed to IBC. These were individual material that were going to be used for a specific reason. 2 days later, after the party agent had visited Athens, where the presidential ballot papers were being printed, and they came back to the country, they came back with a report. And having communicated in the full glare of the media that there was nothing wrong, Paul Mwangi, the legal lawyer for Azimio, raised again an alarm about something they had noticed, and there was something that was not was unusual. This was about the Form 34A booklet, which had been produced in duplicates. And the question they were asking, what was the duplicate of Form 34A going to do? A thorough investigation later on was done, and IBC had to call for a consultative meeting with all agents of political party. The result is that they agreed to do away with one Form 34A. And therefore, when you remember Form 34A, you will also, if we talk of Form 34A, you'll also remember Form 34B, which brought a lot of controversy in the 2017 election. So the Deputy President appears to be a frustrated man out of the events that have unfolded in the past few days. One, the issue of the Venezuelan being revealed, and the issue of the Form 34A. In all these two sagas, the Deputy President has been seen attacking the police, the government, and the so-called project to him. However, for a sober-minded person, you would expect the Deputy President to be more anxious as opposed to Raila and his brigade, considering that he is considered, or the public consider the Deputy President to be the de facto opposition leader. Because he ran away from the government and he acts as an opposition leader. So when such a things happen in the IBC, any sober person would expect the Deputy President to be the one following up and clearly trying to request the government to address the issue. Instead, he seems to have taken sides and now is against the DCI and the police for fighting or for trying to ensure there is a free, fair, and a transparent election. And therefore, this one already creates a stage for what would be a presidential ballot contest, and would largely contribute to one group or the other going to court to ensure that these elections do not go through. So in simple terms, and in summary, I will say this. Number one, the Deputy President has already conceded defeat. Much as he may not win, number two, it is clear that the Azimio group or Raila Amolo Odinga may not also win. I've pointed out a number of factors that have already been at play and has shown clearly that the Deputy President has conceded defeat. Number one, the body language when he was talking to his supporters in Kapsabet. Number two, the tone and the words he used in his speech at Kapsabet a few days ago. Number three, I've talked about President Uhuru Kenyatta's meeting in Nakuru and the people, and the response of the people was a clear indication that Nakuru is no longer a UDA or a Kenya Kwanza wing or region. Number 4, I've talked about the opinion polls and what they depict. I've also talked about history and Raila's votes. And lastly, I've talked about Wafula Chebukati's finding himself under siege, especially when it comes to controversies concerning the election. Up to there, I want to come to the end of our discussion, and I want to encourage my viewers to come on board, raise issues and contribution or additions and subtraction on our discussion. And for those who are viewing this video for the first time, I've always encouraged you to subscribe to our channel so that next time we produce such a video, you'll be able to receive it on time. We will be doing another video probably on Tuesday, and it will reveal a lot about what is coming in our next election. Otherwise, I want to thank you and wish you the best of weekend.